Don't forget Saturday. You want them all to be in one place.
Hello, it's Saturday. Well, no, it's Friday. I had recorded these episode reviews yesterday, but there are too many pieces of my model, so everything broke. So it is now 7 in the morning, and I am going to review the episodes. Episode 1 and 2 came out. I loved them. So far, great start to the season. Let's just get into it. Episode 1 is titled New Penches, which is really funny because Penches doesn't show up at all in the entire episode. We open with 666 News, having a story on the Hazbin Hotel, just reestablishing the new status quo. Then we move on to the Hazbin Hotel with all of the reporters trying to get the scoop on the new hotel and everything. And then we get to see all the character reintroductions, which are a lot better than season 1, probably because they didn't have to introduce all the characters at once in a 20-minute time span. But so we get to see Vaggie. Her name, she's changing her name, which is really nice. I'm really excited to see what she ends up deciding for that. As someone with an interesting relationship with names, I am very excited. We get to see Angel, both sides of Angel, both his celebrity persona, being all cocky, endorsing the hotel, and then his second side, him asking about Charlie, wondering if she's okay, and then asking if she's still up for therapy, which means she's taking his rehabilitation seriously, which I love to see. Then there's Husk being Husk, making was it 6 virgin sacrifice pina coladas and a harder daddy, which is so on brand and so funny. Then there's Alistair being his sadistic self, just enjoying the suffering of everyone around him. And then Vaggie goes to check in on Charlie, and Charlie gets a big focus on this episode. I feel like she should get more. I wish she got her own episode, but I think it's better that she's introduced alongside the V's to kind of juxtapose their positions to each other, since the V's are the primary antagonists of the season. So, it's trade-offs. You can't win them all. So Charlie does get a lot of breathing room. She gets, a lot of time to just exist. She's with Penches's little egg boy. They're reminiscing on Penches. He's made a bunch of sculptures of him crying. And so Maggie comes up. Charlie comes down and meets the absolute clusterfuck that is happening downstairs with all the reporters. This fucking guy with his wife, it's so funny to me. I love how every time he says anything, he is just further along in the murder of his wife, which is so funny to me. How he doing that so fast? Charlie comes down, gets bombarded with reporters, meets Baxter. Charlie is coping horribly, immediately imprints Penches on Baxter. Luckily, that doesn't last more than 10 minutes, which, thankfully, I would not have enjoyed Charlie trying to replace Penches for the entire season. But it does work as a one-off joke and just kind of a way to just kind of drive home how much she's reeling from Penches. And then we get the first song. I think it's Has Been Guarantee plus Trust Us, where we get to see the V's, which, God, I love the V's. They're going to be such fun villains. So we get to see Hazbin Hotel juxtaposed with the V's. The Hazbin Hotel is kind of like, we trust you, we believe in you to be better. And the V's and Voxtech are like, trust us, you will make us better. And then there's this one girl who gets a claim to fame for a whole 3 minutes and then gets thrown out the door, which is so funny because ain't that celebrity culture nowadays. On Charlie's side of the story, girl is going through it. There's a bar! Yeah, Charlie continues to get bombarded by the people. Alistair doesn't step in because, of course, he doesn't. Lucifer pops in. God, I love him. I'm glad he's a permanent addition to the story. And warps Charlie away, and Charlie opens up about how stressed out she is. She asks Lucifer how he manages being in charge, and he doesn't. He does not manage. Look at his fucking room, all of those ducks. That is his coping mechanism. Jesus. They have a little heart-to-heart. They reminisce on Lilith. which is nice. It's just they just have a little sweet moment together, which I love. Nice to see their relationship kind of repairing and healing. And so Charlie comes out of the talk feeling better. She comes back to the hotel and is like, "All right, anyone who doesn't want to redeem themselves, get the fuck out. We don't kill angels here. We don't hurt nobody. I believe in you to get better." And nobody liked that because it's hell. She leaves Lilith an email. Lilith does not respond. I'll talk more about Lilith in episode 2. But yeah, she's been gone for like almost 8 years now. And so Charlie leaves her a voicemail, just kind of venting about the hotel and everything, how much under pressure she feels. And as she talks about this, there's like the eye window kind of looking down on her, and I love that visual. Like all of hell is looking to her. All of heaven and hell is looking to her. History has its eyes on you. Yeah, like that. Before we get to the rest of the Hazbin Hotel side, the V's have a little discussion. First, we get Vox in 666 News going off on Katie Killjoy, who is a little too into it, and Vox is such a mood here.
Punish me
No.
if you want to.
Ew. No.
Besides, I think I have a...
And so he leaves them with that. They do their little second news story later in the episode, but we'll get to that later. So Vox pulls the V's in to have a discussion about their recent antics. Valentino, of course, brings someone in there with him. Vox immediately throws them into a shark tank, and Valentino says, and I quote, "Hey, I was using that." Which, ain't that, Val? It's a spectacular way to reintroduce a villain character. Immediately show how he views people. Vox grills them for their antics and lays out his plans to take over heaven. They have a little song once we get up there. Absolute bop. I love Velvet's dress. And Vox has a little backstory moment where he talks about how much he chases the spotlight. He was in a cult. How he's always been chasing that feeling of the whole world looking at him, which is very interesting. We have been getting a decent amount of backstory with this and episode 2. I'm excited to learn more about characters. Now we get to Charlie and Vaggie up on the rooftop, just having a nice little discussion. Vaggie's like, "It's okay to feel." Lucifer was also like that. I think I forgot to mention that. Oopsie daisy. Sorry, I'm all over the place. It's 7:30 in the morning. So there's Charlie and Vaggie, and then we get to 666 News' thing. Charlie gets understandably peeved, and Vaggie's like, "Hey, it's okay. It'll blow over. Probably." I don't think it will. I think the V's are absolutely gunning for them. Again, excited to see. And then we get Emily. Emily, the end of the episode is Emily just dumping everything on Charlie. Like, "Hey, heaven's on lockdown because Adam's dead. I can't talk long. Pensions was redeemed. Everything's great. Talk to you later. Bye." And Charlie just screams, and that's the end of the episode. That is so funny to me. I would be a little upset if the second episode wasn't everything Emily had just talked about, but it is. So it's great. So that's the end of episode 1. I'll probably come and record my review for episode 2 when I get back from work. Because God, am I tired, and I do need to get ready for work. So I'll see you guys then. Okay, so episode 2 is titled Storyteller. It opens up with Penchus in court. Penchus is actually in this episode. Thank God. Everyone is losing their shit. Everyone is losing their shit. Sarah grills the fuck out of him. Emily keeps insisting that he's been redeemed. Sarah's not having it, because if he's been redeemed, then that means all of the bloodshed she ordered is completely pointless. And so then Luke pulls up, offers to murder him. And then we meet Abel, who is not fit to be general, like, at all. Like, I mean, if you had to choose between him and Loot, then I guess, but there had to be someone better, right? There had to be someone better. Eventually, the Speaker of God comes in, and oh my God, she is so pretty. She is so pretty. So she goes up to Penchus and asks him to tell his story. And so he talks about his time in life, how he was a bit of a recluse, watched people from a window, and he witnessed a murder. I'm pretty sure it's Jack the Ripper, because it's 1888 London. He saw the first murder. He was in a position of power, and the man he saw was a client of sorts. And so he knew who he was, and he could have done something, but for whatever reason, quite understandably, he didn't. And so that is what sent him to hell. And so what he did is when he saw Adam beating up everybody, shooting lasers, he decided he wasn't going to stand around anymore. He was going to stand up for the people he cared about. He was going to do something. And that atonement for that sin landed him a seat in heaven, which is very fascinating. I love that we have an actual, like, criteria for redemption. It's atonement. It's you take an action that atones for and makes up for the sin you made in the past, which is so interesting. I love getting information like this. I love learning the way the world works. And so the speaker, most beautiful creature on the planet, is like, well, looks redeemed to me. I do really like the speaker, because the speaker really is the epitome of what heaven is meant to be. She is nothing but compassionate. She listens. She understands. She gives people voices. She lets people tell their stories. And she's nothing but compassionate. I think I said that already, but you get the point. She's also really pretty. Lute, being Lute, is not taking. She freaks out, refuses to believe that he's been redeemed, thinks he has to have done something. Lute isn't handling the death of her crush well. Clearly. And Lute ends up insulting the speaker to her face. Sarah steps in and is like, bitch, back the fuck up. Don't talk to God that way. And then she's like, Penchus is here. He's a soul in our care. We're going to take care of him. And so she orders Emily to make him feel at home. And that's the end of the court. Oh, right at the end of the court, before we get into Penchus, Sarah tries to talk her down because she knows Lute well enough to know that she's going to fucking do something. And Lute mentions that she already ordered Lilith to take care of her daughter, which is interesting. So the Seraphim know about it too. Or at least Sarah does. So we knew the deal already had something to do with the extermination. But I think it's deeper than that. It seems to me, based on the last times we saw Lilith, we didn't see her speak or anything. And she isn't picking up calls from anyone. I think the deal involved taking her voice. Because her whole strength was using her voice, her song, to empower the demons of hell. So I think that's what that deal was for. So with that, we move on to Penchus, who is one of a kind, and is kind of basically in the same situation he was when he was alive. Bro's got no friends. Bro's one of a kind. He's kind of singled out against the rest of the crowd. Emily and them view that as such a great thing. And they're having a musical number. Really, towards the end, it's really funny. I think one of the lines was "Lonely Snake Guy." So the song becomes a bit self-aware that it's not helping Penchus, which is really funny. So, important thing, it looks like the winners, same as the sinners, cannot leave their ring or their realm. Which is cool. Very cool. Very interesting. I love learning new things. And then Penchus ends up breaking down. He tries to shoot himself, but nothing but confetti and silly string comes out of the gun. I was laughing my ass off. So Emily realizes that maybe it's time to take a different approach, you know, Penchus is a unique case. She's not used to people who have already lived for hundreds of years suddenly being ripped away from everyone they know and love in a place that they don't understand. What she does, which is really nice. We love Emily. She makes the little egg boys, but like as angels. They're not the same egg boys, but they're egg boys all the same. It's just the introduction is so funny to me. I love them. Egg, egg, egg. I'll tolerate them. Emily starts making Pence's feel more at home. She makes him a room with everyone he knows and loves painted next to his bed, which is certainly a design choice. But he feels welcome and all that. And so I think that's it for Penchus this episode. So he's slowly warming up to heaven. He's slowly making himself in there. And so then we cut to Sarah and the speaker, and it's interesting to explore this side of Sarah. We didn't get a lot of time to like explore her character, and so she goes to the speaker and she's like, "I want to confess my sins." And so she confesses she was so afraid of hell uprising against them that she didn't even think that there could be good in them. That if people had faith in the people of hell, that they could actually be better people. And so this entire song, she's grappling with the reality of her actions. So many human souls that could have earned their salvation, killed by her command. And so there's this chilling imagery of her walking through hell during an extermination, just covered head to toe in blood. It's so cool. Also, Sarah and the speaker's voices are so pretty. They're so pretty. She's so pretty. I am so normal about the speaker. Leave me alone. Let me be gay, okay? And so the speaker essentially says, atonement is something you have to do yourself. You are in a position of power. You are a leader. It is up to you to fix your mistake and to decide how to go forward. Which is driven further home by the fact her council of Saint Peter and Abel, the two people you want to be taking advice from, just not having any clue what to do. Listen, I love Abel. He's a blast to have on the show. Bro, pick somebody else to be a general, please. Anybody else. Anybody but Lute would have been perfect. Anybody but Lute or Abel, please. And then we go to Lute. And this might be like my first like real problem I have with the series. But I don't want to say that just yet because the season just started. Lute is a little bit crazy. She vandalizes property, punches a wall, and she hallucinates Adam, which is interesting. On one hand, it drives home that she is spiraling, that she is losing her grip on reality and is tunnel visioning on revenge. And bringing back Adam as a hallucination does well to drive that home. It's just, it feels like they're dragging out Adam's death in a way. Like, maybe the decision will grow on me, but right now I'm not so sure about it. There's so much more season. Maybe it'll grow on me. Maybe something cool will happen with it. We'll see. And, I can't say much because I really liked in Ruby when Neo brought back Torchwick in Volume 9 as, like, an extension of herself and her grief. So I think it can be done really well. We just have to wait to see how they handle it. And so Lute talks to herself, basically, and decides she's gonna do something murdery. She's gonna kill people. She's gonna make the people who hurt her suffer. Which, on brand for Lute. And especially having an angel go down this path, I think, is really important. Because especially with Sarah and Emily and Lute, it goes to show that there is not much difference between hell and heaven in terms of people. So it is good to have a character like Lute up in heaven. And I'm very excited to see how Lute's revenge plan goes. I've seen the trailer. I've seen some of the leaks. I don't think it's going to end super great for our protagonist, but we'll see. I think, it ended with Gravity. And then, Heaven going in lockdown. Can't forget about that one. So Sarah decides, they can't retaliate against Hell because those are people down there who can actually be redeemed, who are worth believing in. So she can't just go down and kill them for revenge or a show of power. But she can't just stay defenseless. So what she decides is to put Heaven on lockdown. So no one gets in or out. I didn't know anyone could get in or out of heaven to begin with. So that's new. But anyway, she puts heaven on lockdown. She puts a big shield around it as a bit of a middle ground. Because they can't remain defenseless because, I mean, we've seen hell. We've seen what the V's are doing. They're gonna come for them. So it is important for them to raise their defenses and stay on their toes. So I genuinely think this is absolutely the best decision Sarah could have made. And I am excited to see her explore correcting her mistake, because the overarching theme of Hazbin Hotel is that you can atone for what you've done, that as long as people can believe in you, as long as someone believes in the goodness around them, that people can be better. So I'm excited to explore Sarah. I'm excited to see how far that belief in people to be better can go, and where the show decides to start questioning it. Because, we have some irredeemable characters. We got Valentino. God fuck that guy. We got Valentino. We got Lute. We got Alistair, who is... We don't know much about Alistair. I know more about Alistair than most people because I've seen the leaks. But I'm not going to talk about that because that's leaks and no one's supposed to know that yet. But yeah, I'm just excited to see how they take their message going forward, especially in these next couple episodes. I'm excited to explore these characters more in depth. I'm excited to see where they take the themes, how they challenge them, and the characters who believe in those themes, and vice versa. Yeah, I'm really excited. That's all. I think I talked about everything I have to about the first couple episodes. If you have any ideas on what I should improve on, this one was a bit janky because I already recorded this and I had to re-record everything, so my thoughts are all over the place. And then I had to start in the morning because I knew I wouldn't have enough time to do both episodes in the evening. So it's a bit of a mess, but if you have any genuine constructive criticism, not just insults, hey, try doing this instead, or just suggestions on ways I can make this better or spruce it up a bit, that would be great. And so I will see you next Saturday. Bye.